Hey guys, Luke Wilson here with another early offseason outlook. This time it is Tyler Conklin. This is another guy that they're probably sick of hearing me talk about in the Fantasy Index Discord. So, Tyler Conklin, Mr. Consistency in fantasy football, we can call him, because he's coming off his third consecutive season with exactly 87 targets in 17 games played. And in each of those seasons, he's clocked between 58 and 61 receptions and between a tight end 16 and tight end 18 finish in fantasy. So, perfectly respectable, decent as a tight end 2, but also nothing to write home about. So why are we talking about him? Well, for starters, I have a sneaking suspicion that Tyler Conklin is actually maybe better than those numbers imply. In 2021, his last season with the Vikings, that's when he really starts to break out after 3 nondescript seasons to start his NFL career. But that's also Justin Jefferson's rookie season, and Adam Thielen is still in the tail end of his prime as one of the top dogs in the Minnesota Vikings passing game. So there just really wasn't a lot of work to go around, especially with that being Mike Zimmer's last season as the head coach there. These were not the pass-happy Vikings that we've known since Kevin O'Connell came on the scene. After that, Conklin signs a nice little 3-year contract with the Jets, and obviously any chance that he may have had at breaking out in fantasy in his first 2 seasons with the Jets were drowned out by the last desperate gasps of the Zach Wilson era in New York. 119 receptions in 2 seasons as a Jet, 3 touchdowns. Why, Zach? Why? And yet, despite dealing alternately with overcrowding in Minnesota and under-quarterbacking in New York, Conklin over the last 3 years has produced target and reception totals very similar to much more established, much more recognizable names in fantasy football at the tight end position, like David Njoku, Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth. Okay, these are guys that statistically he compares very favorably with, if not for the near total lack of touchdowns over the last 3 seasons, which again, his final season in Minnesota, Adam Thielen is still a red zone monster. And over his first 2 seasons in New York, the Jets are dead last in the NFL in passing touchdowns, period. So for me, it's really not hard to look at Tyler Conklin and see a guy who is still on the verge, on the precipice of a breakout, and I think has the talent, has the ability to do it, and even better, he may actually finally have that opportunity to break out in 2024, where the Jets have Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall in the passing game, and that's really about it. And Garrett Wilson coming off of 168 targets, Breece Hall coming off of 95, I just don't know how much more work those 2 guys can even process. But of course, the real reason to potentially be excited about Tyler Conklin in 2024 is the prospect of a full season with Aaron Rodgers, who would be by far the best quarterback he's played with since at least 2021, if not ever. And Aaron Rodgers has been very fantasy friendly to tight ends in the past. He powered Robert Tonyan, remember that name? Robert Tonyan to a double-digit touchdown season not that long ago. So Tyler Conklin isn't the best tight end in the league, but he's a heck of a lot better than Robert Tonyan. But now let's talk about the real reason that I'm so interested, such a fan of Tyler Conklin in Dynasty right now, and that reason is this. Every once in a while, a perfect conflagration of circumstances occurs that drives a player's value down to such a preposterously low level that you really are being borderline negligent not moving to acquire that player in absolutely every Dynasty league that you are in. Those other tight ends that slid in that graphic earlier, of the 5 other names, 4 of them are ranked somewhere in the top 15 to 18 tight ends in Dynasty leagues right now. Darren Waller started last season ranked in the top 20, has since slid just outside of the top 20. Tyler Conklin is ranked outside of the top 40 tight ends in Dynasty right now, folks. He's ranked behind guys like Davis Allen and Cole Turner, who I would not fault you one bit if you had never heard of them before in your life. He's down with Irv Smith Jr. and Donald Parham. What? This guy's a starting tight end in the NFL, folks. The Tyler Conklin disrespect has been ongoing really for over a year now, and it's just insane. And again, not that he's been anything great fantasy production-wise over the last 3 years, but he has very clearly demonstrated that his floor is like the tight end 20, and he's ranked outside the top 40 tight ends. It does not make sense. So normally, these guys that I talk about, you at least have to send a trade offer for. You need to go check the waiver wire in your Dynasty League to check to see if Tyler Conklin might be there. If he is owned, I mean, what's the least valuable thing on your roster? a 4th round pick, Fab, Terrace Marshall Jr. I mean, you could send anything for Tyler Conklin right now, and there's an excellent chance that it would be accepted. Tyler Conklin has shown that he can play. He has a sizable contract for 2024. He has 1 more year left on his deal as a contract year for him. He's playing with Aaron Rodgers. We hope. That's certainly the plan. And unless you consider Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb legitimate competition, there just may not be that much competition for Conklin in this offense. He's staring half a dozen or more touchdowns in the face right now. He is free money in Dynasty leagues right now. The value proposition relative to the cost, which is nothing, is technically, mathematically, infinite. So yeah, if you need a quality tight end 2 who has an outside chance at giving you like borderline tight end 1 production in 2024, and your budget is like basically day-old donuts, Tyler Conklin is perfect for you right now. The early offseason outlook on Tyler Conklin is that he is a buy.